Hello and welcome to another Tech Tuesday. We're excited to have you today. Thank you so much for joining. We're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. Today we're talking about end of the year Skyward maintenance. So first off, we've got a couple of quick commercials that we're going to go through really fast, just in case this is your first time. So we are your technology integration team. My name is Josh Voiles. I'm an instructional technology coordinator. I am joined by Miss Isabel Espinoza, who is the director of technology integration. And I'm also joined by Miss Sherry Harris, who is the other coordinator. I forgot my title. She's the other instructional technology coordinator. And also, we are joined today by special guests. We have I'm trying to make sure I pronounce this correctly. CIS analysts, is that correct? CIS analyst Tierney Hamilton and Rochelle Taylor. So they're here with us today. But just a couple of quick commercials, and then we're going to let them take over real fast. So we want to make you aware that you can go to midlandisd.net/itech. There you'll see a lot of great information that we have posted on our website for the instructional technology, things on resources on GoGuardian, Nearpod, CleverTouch, and also our Tech Tuesday archive is on there as well. So give that a favorite. Another thing we want to make you aware of is our technology newsletter. You can go to midlandisd.net/tech newsletter, and there you will find an archive of all of the past articles that we've sent out, as well as you will find a button where you can subscribe. Another thing that we want to make you aware of is that you can now receive SBEC and CPE credit. So that is available in Eduphoria for today's session. So if you're joining live, I'm going to go ahead and post a link in the chat. You can click that, and Sherry will be able to give you credit for joining us today. Last but not least, we want to make you aware that we are also you can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter. You can find us at the handle @MidlandISDTech. And on there is a lot of great stuff that we're going to be posting, a lot of our Tech Tuesdays and upcoming Tech Tuesdays and some of the other stuff that's going on with our department. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into it. I think I'm going to give it hand it off to Tierney. Is that correct? One of you guys. Okay, Rochelle. So go ahead, Rochelle. Go ahead and take it away.
So again, we have to switch back and forth meetings, so because we're so close. So sometimes we get a whole echo in here. But welcome again. Thank you guys for coming. So we're just going to jump right in with a gradebook overview. Hopefully you learned something with us today that will be helpful for you guys. If you haven't done so already, we want to help you personalize your dashboard. You can select by clicking on your widgets right here. You can pick what you see and what you don't see, and personalize it to those things that are helpful to you and things that maybe really don't do much for you. You can also see right here district news. As things go out, those will show up on your dashboard, and you can click on it and read those things. Also down here, there will be announcements and things for you to see, and also links for you to use as you move through the year, and helpful links for you to keep your gradebook up to date and make sure that you are doing things and keeping them set up correctly. Like I said, here is a screenshot of how you can set up your widgets for those things that you might want to see and things that you might not want taking up space on your dashboard. If you select everything, some people might want everything on there. Other people, that might be too much to have all of that on there. Less is more for some people. So you can, if you click on that, you can pick and choose. Once you've chosen what you want to see, just make sure you click save to make sure that your personal choices are saved and that it will show up on your dashboard the way you would like for it to. On this screen, you can change a student's password if they have forgotten what it is, which we all know happens. They oftentimes forget what that is. So these instructions, go to the student, click on the edit login, and you can change their password. We often encourage you to use their ID number with maybe 2 exclamation points at the end. That way they can go in and change it to something that will be easy for them to remember. But that way you have something that you use as something that you use all the time, a template that you use for every student. But just so you know, you do have access for the students that you're in your class, you can do this. Gradebook categories. I take a little pause there because this is where we've had the majority of problems with grade books this year. When teachers have had problems with averages not working correctly, or assignments not being included, or things of that nature, most often, not every single time, but most often it's due to categories in some way, shape, or form. The district has adopted the rule you see on the screen here for the categories for different grade levels. As you can see, pre-K and kindergarten have those right there. I mean, you uses the standard grade book, and pre-K doesn't use Skyward grade book to take grades. But first and second grade is 100% all grades, so there really aren't separate categories. So if you're using separate categories in first and second grade, you're basically inviting yourself to almost have some issues. That's probably the easiest category to use, is 100% all grades. Third through fifth is 60% minor and 40% major. Okay. And then 6th through 12th is 60% major and 40% minor. Now, once you get those categories set up, you have to make sure that as you are adding your category or your assignments for each grading period, that you are adding those assignments to the correct category. If you add an assignment to a category that does not exist, you're going to have a problem. Okay, so as long as you are in the current grading cycle, you can modify your categories simply by clicking on click here to modify. Now, if your categories are set up incorrectly for a grading cycle that is already closed, you will have to submit a help ticket for us to assist you in that. But if we can get those categories set up and make sure that assignments are added to the correct categories, you are going to have a much easier time having your averages coming out the way they need to be and posting correctly. And now I believe I am handing it off to Tierney. Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon. I'm going to get started with talking about your correcting categories, and then we'll get into the new button. As Rochelle said, if it is a closed cycle that you have already previously put grades in for, it may not let you put in your modification for those cycles. So if you need help, do the SIS help at Midland ISD, and we can always go and fix those for you. With the new button, if you have any new students, you will see the new button show up right next to the student's name. If you have a student that is within your school and has transferred into your class that used to be in a different classroom, they'll also have a new button as well. So these are different options that you can choose if you want to transfer those grades into your grade book. We have had a lot of tickets this year where students are brand new to the district. They're newcomers and they've never been in the school system at all in MISD. So we recommend that you just get with your principal or administration and decide what you want to use for those grades. Sometimes we tell them to do an NG for those grades that they do not have any for the previous cycles. And it's basically just a placeholder. It doesn't count for or against them, but that'll just let them know that an NG is a no grade. Okay. Some of your options that you would choose for this new button is option number 1. If you have a student that goes from one math section to another math section, and all the assignments would be the same, you would choose option number 1. If a student moves from one teacher to another teacher, you would transfer the grades with option number 2. If you have a student that transfers to your class and the office already has grades, you would choose option number 3. And then if you have a brand new student who doesn't have any grades at all, you would choose option number 5 for starting averages. Okay. A grade change request. This is always something that comes up once a grading cycle has been closed. And remember, when we do report cards, our timeline for report cards, it closes at noon on those days. So after noon on those days of our timeline, then your grade book completely closes and you're not allowed to make any changes at that point. That's when you have to go in and do a grade change request. Or for any previous cycles, say, hey, you messed up giving Johnny 89 when he actually had a 90, and you're wanting to go back in and give him that 90 that you knew he was supposed to have for the previous cycle. This is when you're going in to do your grade book change request. So you'll have to alert the office staff. It will go on their side, and whoever is in charge on the office staff, being admin or a secretary, is in charge of making those changes to allow you to make those changes. Once you do that, you only have 2 hours that it'll allow you to make those changes. So if you click the gradebook link for whatever grade that you're needing to change, and you need to modify it, you'll go to that 6 weeks period or 9 weeks period, whichever school you may be in that have a 6 or 9 weeks period. And then you'll do the grade posting status for whichever term that you're looking for. This would be the cycle 6 right now because we're in the 6th week period. And then your grade post status screen will appear in the highlighted course information. And then you'll click where it says request grade changes on that button. Okay. You'll have to read the information that's stated in the box, and then you type in a general reason for why you're making the grade change request. Like, I found an assignment that was not in the location where they usually turn it in. And it was a blank grade before, or a 0 or something like that. So that's like your general blanket statement that you would put. And then you would put yes for you want to proceed. And then remember, you only have 2 hours at that point to fix those grades that need to be modified. And then you'll change the desired assignment grade for whichever 6 weeks period that you're needing to change it for, or 9 week period. And then you'll click the options button and the cycle for which you need to change it for, and then click on grade posting status for that term, and then complete grade changes button when you're finished. These are some display options. You might have certain ways that you want to display the student names on your grade book, or your assignment display on your grade book, or even your grade period display. Remember, you can hide all of your previous cycles before if you'd like by unchecking them. Say like we're in cycle 6 right now and you wanted to not show any of the previous cycles before, you would uncheck cycles 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to where you only have cycle 6 showing. at that point. So that would be your grade period display that you can check on. Your student display are several different options. You can do last name, first name, last name. And it shows you different ways that you can show dropped or inactive students. Your assignment display, you can set your preferences for the way that you show the assignment detail. You can have like the date, the actual whole name of the assignment, and if it's a major or a minor, you can have that whole part displayed if you would like for your assignment display. Just totally your preference. For semester averages, remember we talked about the NG. A grade or an NG is needed for every single cycle in the teacher's grade book in order to calculate a semester average. So it's showing here that there is no cycle 3 grade. So it's showing an unequal sign for semester 1. See the equal sign with the little dash through it? That's an unequal sign, and it's showing that semester 1 does not equal out to the grade or average because you don't have a cycle 3 grade. So you'll either have to put an NG or an actual grade if you get it from the office. This grade book shows that there are grades for cycle 1, 2, and 3. And so now you have an average showing in semester 1 that it's calculating. And remember, we're only through the first 3 cycles now, so you're not going to see the semester 2 average. You would actually have your average once you get somewhat through cycle 6, where you would have 4th, 5th, and 6th cycles to show a semester 2. These are some of our reports that we have. If you're wanting to look at any missing cycle grades or any failure grades, this is where you would go into Skyward to look at for a missing cycle grade. You could go to Office, Grading, Reports, Grading and Attendance Analysis. And then the template shows you for a missing cycle grade. You can choose whichever one you're looking for, and it's SIS for Student Information Systems. It shows you a blank, incomplete, or a no grade in the teacher's grade book for this selected cycle that you're choosing. You can also do the prelim failure report. And then you look at the template that we have for SIS prelim failure report, and you choose which cycle you're needing. And it'll show a list of students who have at least one course in your grade book that has 70 or below for that selected cycle. And then you can go to the pass fail by teacher report by going to Office, Grading, Reports, and Grade Analysis. And you use our template for SIS, pass fail by teacher. Also, we have a lot of these tickets coming in right now. Mainly counselors are asking for A honor roll or AB honor roll for the end of year or 6 weeks awards assemblies that you guys have. So you can look at the A honor roll and AB honor roll by going to Federal State Reporting, Texas State Reporting, Reports, and Texas Honor Roll. And you can go to our template that we have for SIS A honor roll or the SIS AB honor roll. And then it shows those with a 90 or above for the A honor roll or 80 or above for AB honor roll. And it's whatever your criteria is for your certain campus. We had one ticket that we got today asking for what they should do for all year A honor roll or all year AB honor roll, and know that we don't have a complete cycle 6 right now. So we usually tell campuses it is each 6 weeks up until maybe the 3rd week of this 6 weeks is how we're getting all of those A and AB honor rolls awards. Also, if you're looking for the failing grades, you would go to Office, Grading, Reports, and Selected Grades to look up students who have failing grades below a 70. You might have your secretary or clerk give you a report of any missing grades or assignments on your behalf. Every 6 weeks, the secretaries or clerks are asked to run these reports for the end of each 6-week or 9-week timeline. That way that they can give admin an accurate count of who may be missing grades or assignments in their grade book. And remember, the district asks that you have 1 grade per week per subject in each cycle that you are working in. So you should have at least 6 grades per 6 weeks in your grade book and assignments, okay? So your secretary or clerk might hand you a report of any missing assignments that you may have, and it shows a teacher that has less than the amount of assignments that they are supposed to have. So this would be what, the 5th week of the 6 weeks. So you should already have at least 5 grades in for this cycle. So they would put in 5 or less for this report, and it would show anybody who comes up on this report who doesn't have at least 5 grades in their grade book. And then also, if there's grade differences, say the office got grades for a new student, but you hadn't put in your grades yet on the gradebook side, this is where it will show a grade difference. So the office has already put in their grades, but you haven't put in your grades on the gradebook side. So it's going to show a difference in their report. And they might bring this report to you saying, hey, you haven't put in your grades yet for the grade book, but I've already gotten grades that I've put in on the office side. And then that's for the cycle. And then there's also a report for the whole semester that shows a grade discrepancy. Okay. It also includes blank grades, incomplete grades, or NG grades. So if you have a newcomer and they have NG, if you have NG on the gradebook side and they have NG on the office side, that's okay. It still matches. It's just to let you know, hey, you might or might not have grades for this student. So this is just something that will be like a red flag. This is what the grade differences by teacher report will look like. You've probably seen it if you're a teacher and your clerks or your secretary have been on you to make sure you're getting your grades in correctly. This is the school. It shows Idea Travis, and then the course or section number is, this is a 6th grade science course, and then the section number is 01V, and then it has the student's ID and last and first name, and it shows you this is from cycle 1. And notice how we're missing a grade for the posted cycle grade. The teacher has her grades in on the grade book side, but the posted cycle grade is not in on the office side. Okay, so if there's a posted grade but not a gradebook grade, the teacher has to enter the grade using their new button that's next to the student's name. If there is a gradebook grade but not a posted grade, the office needs to enter that grade in Skyward by going to the student profile, grades tab. If there is a difference in the posted grade and the gradebook grade, there are 3 things that you'll need to do. The office needs to make sure if there are no pending grade change requests that need to be approved. And then if there are no pending grade change requests, then the office will need to verify whether their grade is correct or the teacher's grade is correct. And then they'll have to make amends to which one is correct. Depending on which grade is correct, either the office needs to correct the grade on their side by going to student profile, grades tab, or the teacher will need to correct it in their grade book. And remember, if it's a closed cycle or a previous cycle, you will have to do a grade change request at that point. Okay. That was all of our presentation, short, sweet, and to the point. If you have any questions or if you need any help throughout the year, this is only for employees of Midland ISD. It's not for students or parents. Please submit your ticket or questions to this email, sishelp@Midland ISD. And you just fill it out like a regular email and tell us what you're needing help with regarding anything in Skyward or any reports that we may have with Report Manager or any reports in Skyward. And we're always here throughout the summer. I know teachers have most of the summer off, but we will be here. If something pops up and you need anything answered Skyward wise, we're here to help. I'm Tierney Hamilton. My partner Rochelle Taylor here, and then Aaron Villarreal is our Student Information Systems Director. Thank you, Tech Tuesday, and Sherry and Isabel and Josh for having us today.
Thank you so much, Tierney, and also thank you to Rochelle. And once again, we just want to thank you for joining us on this Tech Tuesday. A lot of really important stuff that they went over today for the end of the year, right? So we want to make sure that we have all of that squared away and we know what we're doing, right? So once again, thank you for joining, and we will see you on the next Tech Tuesday.